And Daniel will tell us who we are and who he needs.
I need two people.
For what?
You are mood disorder with substance abuse.
Okay.
Not substance abuse induced mood disorder.
Okay.
Just comorbid with each other.
Okay.
So I need just two people. You are anxious about future uncertainty.
Alright, I'll be right.
Okay.
This is fine. I'm anxious about my lab objectives. Just transfer that.
Yes, sit.
Hey, Vinny, is this okay, please?
Yeah.
Okay. It zooms in. I don't know why.
Can you get like a piece of paper and a pencil?
Yeah. I can't believe you were prepared.
That's definitely coming out of the grade.
Sorry. I feel like Oh, Courtney.
You got specific therapy down at the bottom there. Let me put a curtain on there.
Yeah, I know.
I like that. I know. I'm the one who did it.
When should I start? What's your objective?
Oh, I can't tell you that. That just ruins the point of it. No, I'm gonna tell them in like 2 seconds.
I was like,
Can y'all see that?
It's gonna be hard.
Whoops.
I feel like I just relaxed you.
She thought she was going today, and we got so confused.
And y'all don't worry about time. I'll just stop you when I stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep on going. Oh, that's the fastest been extended an hour. Man, I feel like last day. Oh well. I'm not doing it anymore.
Here's a little fun.
Tell me,
Sing it. No,
are we in the garbage or is it just them?
Just.
Just them.
Oh. Do you have to?
Not fun.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, welcome back. Thank you for coming to the little small group today. We talked yesterday a little bit about the rational emotive behavior therapy. And y'all told me when you first got here that you're really anxious about the future, and it seems like things are starting to just get way too overwhelming. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to look at the song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. And what I want you to do is I want you to go through there and write lines that you agree with, like you think that's a good point. What I really want you to look for is, the theme of this song is Don't Worry, Be Happy. Do you think that's a realistic goal, yes or no? Just to always be happy and not worrying?
No.
No, why not?
Because bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with it.
Yeah, and you can't just always say, it's not going to be a problem. But what I want you to look for in this is when it says, I'll give you one, just to show you where we're going to go with this. When it says, ain't got no place to lay your head, I want you to write beside that to try and make a plan. Like, all right, so what if someone were to tell you, hey, your bed is gone? What would you do? Would you call family? Would you call friends? Would you go to a hotel? So I want you to do in this song when it says, don't worry, be happy, I want you to try and make a plan for each individual one of those things you see, okay? So I'm going to sing the song while I'm singing along. I just want you to either listen to the song or write stuff you agree with, and then I want you to try and make a plan for each of the issues in the song, okay? Sing along if you know it too. Y'all too? more time to just jot down a little note. Are you good? I'm going to the next line. You got no cash, you got no style, you got no one to make you smile. Don't worry, be happy. So that line, ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no one to make you smile. What do you think is the big point of that line? I don't know if it's up there. There it is.
You're a bum.
You're a bum? Okay, so what are some steps you could take to maybe get someone who makes you smile? Whether that's family, friends, and jot that down. Next line. Is when you worry, your face will frown, and that will bring half go down. Don't worry, be happy. Alright, and once you're done writing, sing the chorus with me, alright? So that song has a lot of what I would call issues that they just throw away. And to me, you can create a lot of anxiety by just putting stuff off and just letting it happen. Like in this song, he says, the landlord says your rent is late, you might have to litigate. Ah, don't worry. And what's going to happen if you don't worry about your rent? All right, did y'all write, when y'all wrote down that line, what's something you wrote about on that line?
I wrote about the line before.
The line before. Someone came and took your bed? That line?
I couldn't relate it to myself, but I could relate it to a person that I knew.
And what happened?
I brought him into my house.
You brought him into your house?
And then that's when everything started, and it was a downfall from there.
And that's what led to the substance abuse?
Mm-hmm.
So what can you do to help with that? Because what you did, you found the issue. That's one of the biggest steps with substance abuse, is finding what the trigger is. And we're going to talk about that later on in the week. We're going to talk about triggers. We're going to talk about the physiological effects of those triggers. But you know your trigger is your friend. He's the one who peer pressures you into it, right?
More or less.
So what can you do? What's something you can do to help get away from that trigger?
I mean, I don't want to kick him out.
Well, you don't want to, but is there anywhere else he could stay? Maybe you could try and find somewhere else for him to stay. Do you have other friends or family he can stay with?
His family doesn't want him.
Well, not his family. Do you have other friends?
I've tried with my friends. They all bring him back.
Right. And you know, it is very difficult to try and deal with that sometimes. What about, have you offered him maybe some help, go to counseling together? Have you tried to go somewhere?
No.
Because that can be a real big benefit for both of you if you both support each other in the process. Like two people who go to AA together, they can help each other through the process. And so you're going through the same things. If you go through therapy together, that can really be beneficial. So maybe you can talk to him about doing that together. You think he'd be willing to do that? Or she?
I don't think he would, but there's no point in not trying.
I like that attitude. And that's definitely going to help both of you out, and it'll make your lives better. What about you? What line did you write down?
I wrote about the person that makes you smile.
And what about it?
Well, I feel like I just lost a lot of my friends because of the problem.
Right.
And it just really made me think about how just because of that I can't just like let it be that way. And so maybe like Anna could be my friend because you know, like she knows what I'm going through, and so she's not gonna point fingers and blame me for
And
the
y'all can
problem.
help each other.
Yeah.
Now, when you were talking to your friends, how much did you tell them about what you're going through? Like, do they really know? Because that can help a lot of times too, is just telling them what you're actually going through and trying to get them on your side to help you through the process.
I don't like telling them.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think they really understand. Like they say they do. Oh, I get it, but really they just think they're like, why can't we control this problem? You know, like they expect that everyone should be able to control it, and I can't seem to get them to understand that I can't.
Right. And that is difficult to get them to see. But we do have somewhere to start from in that y'all can help each other out. Especially while you're here, you'll be able to help each other, talk with each other, and see what's worked for each of y'all. So is there any other lines in the song that you found that you think should be changed because it just absolutely should not happen? Now, we didn't sing the whole song, so I don't know the lyrics of the whole song, but are there any songs in here you can see that might be a benefit for each other. One line for me is about halfway down. It says, here I give you my phone number. So do you have anyone you could do that with to try and set up that support system to talk to? Other than each other now. Hey, you know what though? If y'all can set up together, y'all can keep in contact. And when it comes to, like, if you're feeling sad or anything, one of the biggest things for depression is just doing something, talking to people and getting out there. So if you have each other, that will definitely allow that to occur.
The thing is, I can't talk to my friends anymore about it because at one point I feel like I'm whining to them, or it's too much, or they get irritated with me, and then it comes to the point where I don't want to tell them anything because I don't want to lose them either.
Yeah. Oh, I see where you're coming from on that, and it's really difficult to get people to that point, but that's what the benefit of having y'all two here, because y'all both know exactly what you're going through. And with your other friends, sometimes they just don't understand it, and I see where you're coming from with that opinion, so being able to set that up with someone who knows where you're coming from will definitely be a benefit. So if y'all want to do that, exchange numbers so you can keep in contact to help each other through, that could definitely be a great thing. Any other lines?
I never thought that the whole bed thing was funny. That was
The whole what thing?
That you lose your bed. That's not. You can't be happy about that.
Right. And what would you tell him if the person who wrote this song was in here and he actually had this attitude? What if I came to you and said, "Yeah, I lost my bed. I'm gonna be sleeping out on the street tonight. It's 30 degrees. Whatever. That's fine. I'm happy about it." What would you tell me? So you pretend you're the therapist. You tell me.
You want me to be the therapist? You want me to be a normal person?
You know what? Whatever you choose.
You're stupid.
And what would you say to fix that? What would you say to get away from that issue?
Do something about it.
Like what?
See if there's a homeless shelter in here.
Right. Take proactive steps in figuring out your future, because what does that do if you really don't know? It's just going to cause more and more anxiety. And what you both did is you just made that decision to tell me, like, hey, do this, and you're saying, if this happened to me, which is I assume what you're thinking, if this happened to me, I would try and find a bed that's warm and I won't die.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be happy. That's not something you would be happy about.
All right, that's a good point. You wouldn't be happy. Would you not do anything about it? Would you just still sleep outside, just be sad about it?
No.
Right, so what would you do? She said, like, try and find a homeless shelter that could help me out. Well, what would you specifically do?
I would go to my parents, but they haven't rejected me yet.
Well, see, that's someone you could go to. So you're taking steps. So would you feel more anxious about going to your parents knowing you have that now, or would you feel less anxious saying, oh, okay, so I have somewhere to go tonight?
Yes.
Right. And that's the whole point of what this song is about today, is it always talks about something that's going to create a lot of anxiety because you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know what this is. And you realize you can't just say, no big deal. So what you do is when you find that issue of anxiety, you need to figure out what the issue is and try and plan for that. Don't plan it all at once, but do a baby step. So like your rent. What did you say about the rent? I saw you writing something down.
Just give the landlord what you can and ask for an extension.
Right, it's excellent. Because you're not just saying, oh, I'm just going to pay my rent. And then you have to figure out how to get all that money to pay the rent. You're saying, hey, I'll talk to him, I'll set up a manageable goal, and I'll work towards that goal. And that should help bring down the anxiety. Do you think it would?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know. He can be kind of a jerk sometimes.
Landlords are kind of jerks. We've all had our issues with them, but they also want their money. And if you try and work out that deal, it is more manageable, and he'll see that you're working towards it. So I think that's definitely an achievable goal. So what are some issues you have in real life, not in the song, but what's something you have that is just absolutely gives you anxiety?
I haven't taken too many mollies to try and feel happy.
Try and feel happy. So what is something what do you like used to enjoy before you started using substances? Did you like going to the park?
At first, the reason I started was with my friend, which is my current boyfriend. But then with work, which is just so hectic, and then after it just feels like it's a nice release. And then I feel like I'm justified to have that nice release because I work so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point I feel like I'm supporting both of us. So it's like, why shouldn't I have my fun?
So, in your whole life, is that the only way you've had fun? I'm sure when you were growing up, there's something you enjoyed. I remember in a previous session you told me you enjoy dancing.
Yes.
When's the last time you went dancing?
Wow.
Yeah. So,
All right, let me stop you.
thank God. Oh my God.
No, I really like where you were going. Well, first of all, let's talk about it. And let me tell you, buddy's got a couple minutes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Got 4 minutes.
Did you add that yourself?
All right, so let me. Well, I really like a lot of things about this. So his task was, you know, he had 10 minutes to plan. And his task was with outpatient group. 2 people with co-occurrence of substance abuse and mood disorder. So that they had anxiety about the future. So use RAVT to kind of not be overwhelmed by the future, but to break down into manageable goals. And I thought you did a very good job on the spot coming up with Don't Worry, Be Happy, because like in many other songs, it kind of gets us, in a good mood, but it's all the advice is not, totally practical. And so, I thought you did a good job, especially of doing that. Good job of using questions because, especially when you have that short amount of time, you have the tendency to just tell people what to do. Like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that. But even with all that pressure on you, you were able to ask them questions to bring out their own understanding. So good. If the session was longer, I even think I would like to think that you would even go into maybe some boundaries she might want to have with this person that's living with her.
And I was going to try and figure out if he was doing anything abusive, because that is an issue a lot of time with 2 people doing substance abuse. So I would have tried to see if there was a way to elicit that kind of response, because that might be what caused her to finally come into therapy.
Right. And one thing that you might can do in that situation is that, you can't get her to go through the whole process of recovery in one session, but get her to kind of foreshadow as far as, hey, you can only control what you control, but, there might be what you want to get out of her is that, or what get her to be aware of is that, she has to control her environment, and that the environment that what Matson says, the environment that you put around you is going to control you.
That was the other song I chose for today. That was the point till you threw the rational emotive at me.
Yeah. I don't know what's on.
It was Beautiful by Christina Aguilera.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a good song.
All right, so yeah, and you did a good job of just bringing up awareness, having Emily be aware of different type of support and different type of options. I really like how you prompted them to think about different choices that they have, because we need an external, cue for that. And good job bringing up AA, because sometimes when you're substance abuse, you can't afford a treatment program. All you have is AA. So anybody else? While yeah.
I'm so sorry in advance if I was too harsh.
Hey, that's what it's going to be like.
But it was really great how you gave me
You ready?
questions to think about. At one point I was there I don't know how to answer this. But it was really, really good. It almost felt realistic too.
Take Molly too far. It's like,
You're great.
It's ecstasy?
is it actually?
Molly's is the
Yeah.
purest form of ecstasy.
I had literally no idea what that was.
Yeah, it's a designer drug, just like
Yeah.
ecstasy. People take it when they're in the club mostly, and so they can feel more stimulation. I'm feeling on your booty type thing.
So
You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like they want to touch. No, they feel like they want to. They feel like they want to touch people more when they take Molly.
Yeah.
You love my room.
Pulling out the street language.
But you feel really depressed, after the next
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's really
just
for
so
you,
much
Sarah.
serotonin, nothing, it's all gone after.
We did not cover
Unless it's taken by RCTV.
Yeah.
Kind of like, it's kind of.
We're from Miami. Come on.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the next kind of thing of ecstasy and knowledge. Yeah.
Ecstasy is actually more so on.
I don't know.
Well, it's just mixed with like caffeine and stuff.
Yeah, but
You ready?
more stuff.
Not really, but then again.
All right. Tell us as much as we. Who?
I mean,
Alright, Danny, I got it.
one volunteer.
Not Emily.
Yeah, not. You go after me next.
Emily, don't want you to get up in
And
4 minutes.
they're gonna be an adult with. They're gonna be like really nervous about having some kind of relationship, like social interaction with other people. So, who wants?
Start it if you want.
Kathleen.
Is it too hard to take this out of
Don't worry about it. Go on. I'm videotaping. No, go. Start. I'm videotaping. Go. So Kathleen, you have mental, health issues, and you need a support system, but you are passive and not assertive, and are worried about, so he's trying to help you with your assertiveness.
So I'm like commitophobe.
About starting relationships and maintaining relationships, doing the things that you have to do to do that. Yeah.
What?
Is that because of her mental illness? Or is that just kind of happening?
I mean, it could be or it could be not.
Yay, I'm in.
Woo!
I did this.
Don't worry.
Be happy. Hi, Kathleen. How are you feeling today? Sad. I know that you've been having some trouble, so let's try to first liven up a little bit with a song. If you know it, you can sing with me. If not, here is the song. So let's go. Understand what is the meaning of the song? After reading the lyrics. Well, other than just having a day, by actually being in a relationship with someone, the days can just fly by and you can actually feel better. And it's because you have that relationship with someone that's actually going to support you. Now, I know that you've been having your troubles with those along with you. And why don't you tell me your most recent encounter what was it that made you feel like you couldn't go on and open yourself?
It's probably the last time I saw you. Last time.
So you haven't had anyone else to talk to. So, other than me, who was the last person you spoke to?
The cashier at Publix.
Okay. But you must notice they were really friendly people. They actually smile to you. They try to treat you nicely.
Because they have to.
Yes, they have to, but not necessarily. They could have a bad day and just try to bark at you. So, what about your friends?
I don't have any.
You don't have any. Your family? You don't speak to them?
They live far away.
Well, I know that you have told me about how was that you had problems with your last relationship. And, you know, just because they actually leave you for someone else doesn't really mean that it's all that bad. There's always someone to move on forward to.
But it was my fault.
So tell me, why was it your fault?
It wasn't clean enough.
Really? Because here I'm looking at a young, attractive woman. Just because you don't actually see yourself as one doesn't mean that you aren't. So, let's try something. Let's imagine that it was you who left him. As I remember, he didn't have much money, did he? So, let's use this song for a little change.
This one?
No, we're gonna use this one. Crazy Pop. And I want you to sing the second part.
On myself?
Yes, I'm gonna do the first stanza. And I'll,
Sing it with me?
yes, I can. But I'm gonna sing first, okay? Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer to. I'm half crazy over the love of you. I can't, yeah. I can't afford a carriage, but you look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. So now you are Daisy. Imagine that he's Harry. This is what you're gonna sing to him. Can you sing it with me? So 1, 2, 3, and Harry, here is your answer true. I'm not crazy over the love of you. If you can't afford a carriage, there won't be any marriage. For I be switched if I'll be hitched on a bicycle built for two. Now, can you do it alone? Come on, try it. If not, I'll join in.
The first verse or the second?
The second one. You're gonna dump them all over again. One is not enough, is it? So go on. 1, 2, 3, go. That's it. Very good. Go on. I'll be switched if I hitched on a bicycle built for two. Now, thinking of it as the other way around. That it's not that he left you because you were pretty, but it was you left him because he wasn't good enough for you. How do you feel? A little better? You know, just because one person doesn't have that interaction with you doesn't mean that it's not really going to go on and help with other people. So, what do you think about actually trying to call your family? Or going out one day and just have a beer and try to speak to someone next to you? Just normal conversation, maybe a hi, how you doing?
A lot of effort.
Okay. Now let's do this. Do you have a pet?
Fish.
Fish. What's his name?
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Good. So, I want you to actually speak to Bubbles.
So you can't help that.
Exactly.
Then I feel crazy.
No, you won't. You're feeding him while you're going to talk to him. While you're feeding him, you say, hi, how are you doing? Even he doesn't answer back because he won't. If he does, then we need to speak a little bit about that. But just try having a one-sided conversation. Try to open up. Don't have any worries. What happened during the day? Okay? I want you to do it twice.
You want me to talk to my fish?
Yes. Because then, what you're going to be talking with your fish, I want you to actually practice.
Okay.
Okay? And after you practice with me, we're going to try to up it up a little bit. And maybe we can put you in a group setting so you can sing. Even if you don't feel like it, then you don't have to. What do you think?
So I have to talk to them too?
Only if you want. But that's the whole point of talking to your fish. It's a process. You have to start opening up yourself and talking to your fish. Is your fish going to leave you? Oh, yeah? Well, he could. But would it be your fault? How old is your fish? How long ago did you get him?
I got him on Christmas.
So you see, it wasn't that long ago. And you could take good care of him, right? Feed him and everything. So he's going to be there a long while. That means you have a lot of talking to do.
All right, let me stop.
Is that really your fish's name?
That makes me want
That's such a good fish name.
That was extremely helpful.
I want to name a fish Bubbles.
I love you to talk to the fish are finding me.
I'm gonna get a fish and name it Kathleen Sheen.
Hey Kathleen, what's up?
Let's talk about it. Okay.
recording class.
Yeah, I have to force it.
Can you tell Emily 5 minutes or 4 minutes?
3 minutes and 27 seconds.
All right.
I love bubbles.
I think one of your tasks was to prompt her via the song to talk about actions. So actions of being assertive, of people doing things. I thought you did a really good job of listening to her and validating what she had to say. You did a really good job of listening. When she said, okay, I go to Publix, and you said, okay, well, and she was like, well, people have to, you were like, well, aren't they nice to you? I mean, you did a good way of kind of trying to open up, open up the folder and just taking all the goodies out. You did a good job of trying to say, okay, aware of the interactions you have in Publix, or aware of the interactions you have with your fish. Now, your choice of music, you were supposed to do adult. Why did you pick some older adult stuff?
Well, don't really have all that much songs that could relate to the topic that were just adult in that specific era.
Okay.
Like 870, 80-ish. At least I would go with this kind of topic. I have for other things.
Gotcha. Well, you said you want to do your internship at behavioral, so
Yeah.
you need to step up your repertoire for
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
for 30s and for adults. Okay. I thought you did a good job of, I was trying to see where you were going as far as the song and okay, well, let's say you dumped him. Even though that's kind of unrealistic, it can work as far as like a narrative type of therapy, almost where you're prompting her to see not only that she did all bad, but hey, he did some bad in a relationship too. So you're prompting her to reframe, cognitive reframing, and so that might give her just a view of relationships that there's two people, and that everything that's bad happens is not her fault, but she does have to take some, be assertive in some type of way, and there's some things she can do to make good things happen in a relationship. And you could have went to the fish. There's things that she does to take care of fish to make good things happen, keeping the fish alive and things like that. I don't know about talking to the fish, just because she has specified mental disorder. So that very much could include hallucinations or delusions. But in the time you had, that's forgivable for this situation. But I would say that I thought what you were trying to do is get her to have a progression to talking to people. That was probably not the best type of progression with talk to the fish, but but I think as far as you're trying to give her a homework assignment, but so just become more well versed. What are some things? Let's throw that to the class. What are some things that y'all think would have been good as far as a homework assignment to try to get her to make that progression?
Well, like if she actually wore that to a session, I would say that she looks like she does athletic stuff. I would try and get her to join some sort of a club that does athletic stuff, whether it be a running club or stuff like that, because I know FSU has triathlon clubs. So just go to those clubs and then you can interact with people that way.
Okay, Michael.
Give her like a very specific task, like when you go to the grocery store, try to smile at 2 people. Make eye contact and smile.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, like just talk to one person this week.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say, try to initiate like a conversation before the person at Publix, like when she's at Publix.
Yeah, especially if you go a lot and they're all it's a similar employee there.
Yeah.
And I thought overall, I liked some of the things you were doing. Why the emphasis on her singing by herself so much?
No, it was that. I was thinking that if I can get her to kind of like sing by herself,
Yeah.
then it could lead eventually to her gaining more confidence into speaking more.
Right.
Because she actually did something by herself, and it was an activity that we did together.
Gotcha. Well, that's a lot to ask when somebody is not assertive right off. Maybe get her to play an instrument or something like that. Also, you know, what the task was to get you to do a well-known song that she would know. Therefore, giving her more probability that she would sing along with you. But being a song that she didn't know, you know, there's no probability. There's zero. Yeah. So, you know, some good and some bad, but it just gives you a real good picture of, you know, some things you might want to improve on if you want to go into that population. Okay? Yeah. All right. All right.
Bubbles.
Come on in.
Bubbles the fish.
She's doing a procedural support, flu shot at a hospital. So we need somebody to be a nurse and somebody to be a child who's getting a shot.
Can I get the child?
Okay, he's a child. Semester, and it was really funny.
You volunteer, Michael?
I mean, it's just like,
I have these little ones.
Is there a parent?
Oh, yeah. But you don't want to you got something.
I liked how you said we're going to dump them twice.
That made me so happy.
All right, so
Do you want me sitting or standing?
So we have a parent who's just
Courtney?
You can just sit, Michael.
This is this relationship. Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
so.
What's the
I'm
type of
nurse
relationship?
Stephanie.
And there's
Pediatric
Let me get the
RN
vein.
Stephanie, you'll be on
The
the
what?
one side.
I'll be the Alabama dad. Suck it up, boy.
Great. Michael, how you doing?
Scared.
You know what? There's no need to be
now
scared.
she's talking in before the nurse comes in.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, you know, we're gonna work on a song today that I want you to learn with me, okay? So why don't you just listen first, alright?
Are you gonna prick me up a shot?
No, I'm not. There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll cry. There was an old lady who swallowed a spider that wiggled and wriggled and jiggled inside.
Gross.
She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll cry. There was an old lady who swallowed a bird. How absurd, she swallowed a bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and wriggled and jiggled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll cry. Alright, so what I want you to do in this song, first we're going to try the first step. So when I sing swallow, I want you to take a deep breath in, like this. And then we're going to blow it out. Good! Excellent job. So let's try that in the song. I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Good! Good. You are really great at taking deep breaths.
What was that?
That was next door. The dancing next door. Someone might have hit the wall.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
I forgot to have someone do it.
I'm fine. You're fine.
Alright, so the next thing I want you to do in the song.
guitar?
Sure, you want to try it? You just want to start really quick? Great. Alright, so this is another instrument called shaker. Now you remember the song we sing about the spider?
I see a shaker.
And the spider wiggles and jiggles. So when the spider wiggles and jiggles inside her, I want you to shake the shaker. Alright? So let's try it together.
Do you still want me to?
Yeah. You don't have to breathe every time you're swallow, but I'll cue you when you should, okay? I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps swallowed a spider that wiggled and jiggled and wriggled inside her. Good. You're gonna have to shake the shaker with this hand, okay?
This hand?
Don't forget, it's in your left hand.
Is this an apple?
No, it's just a shaker in the shape of a circle. Go ahead. All
I
right.
feel dizzy.
We'll just sit back in your chair, okay? And maybe don't breathe so often.
I get dizzy when I see nurses.
Oh, well, you know what? You should just watch me, and we'll think about the shaker and the breathing.
Nurse comes in.
And sometimes I might ask you to help me with an animal. Okay? Come on. We were just singing a song with Michael. Hi, Michael. Hey, Michael, what are you doing today? Michael, remember? Are you guys singing the song in here? Swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll cry. All right, so we're gonna try a new animal now.
All right.
So don't forget about the breathing, Michael. There was an old lady who swallowed a bird. Look over here. Isn't it absurd? She swallowed a bird.
Thank you, Michael.
She swallowed the bird to catch the. What do you think she caught?
Fish.
What have we sung about? What bug have we sung about?
Spider.
Yes, she swallowed the bird to catch the spider. Remember the shaker that wiggled and jiggled and jiggled inside her. Good. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll cry. All right, let's sing now about an old lady who swallowed a cat. Can you think of that? She swallowed a cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the. What? Who swallowed the spider though?
The old lady.
But
The old lady.
what did she swallow before she swallowed the spider? Or after she swallowed the spider? She swallowed the bird.
Bird.
She swallowed the bird to catch the
Spider.
that wiggled and wriggled and jiggled inside her. Good, shaken, good. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. We're all done. We're all done.
That was it?
Good job. Good job, Michael. Did it?
No.
No, because we were singing about the spiders and the flies and the birds and shaking and breathing. Don't you think of that song in the future when you're worried about the
An
nurse?
old lady that swallowed a spider.
Mm-hmm. That wiggled and jiggled and wriggled inside her. Good.
Good. All right. So, you did a very good job of picking a song that had a story form that would get his attention and you could keep introducing new animals and things like that. So you did the swallowing, and prompting the breathing, so that would reduce his anxiety, and especially right before you get a shot, if you breathe, you know. And this was Olivia Yinger's dissertation. And so, a lot of times, what we want the child to do is have a lot of non-procedural talk. So talk about anything that's not to do with the nurse or anything that's not to do with the shot. So anytime we can get them to talk about, the fly or the bug or the lady, you did a great job of prompting what was that other bug? Well, what's another bug? Just get his mind. It's the same kind of principle as the gate control. Yeah, have y'all heard of the gate control theory of pain? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like if you focus on a pleasurable stimulus, then you can't focus on the pain. And so, that's kind of what that is. It was a great song choice. If you had more time, you'd probably even consider, hey, well, maybe I wouldn't do the perhaps to cry part.
Yeah, that was the story song I worked on.
But in the time you had, that was a super.
It used to be Perhaps She'll Die.
Yeah, well, that was way better than that.
I guess I could have not rhymed.
But that's not. Yeah, but in the time you had, that was great.
Yeah.
I mean, that was definitely great. And the practical things, you stood on the other side of the nurse, so his attention can be elsewhere. Good. I mean, you didn't have a parent to deal with, so sometimes parents are supportive, sometimes they're not. But yeah. No, sometimes they just kind of, exacerbate the situation. Oh, poor baby,
Right.
But yeah. Anybody else have any comments? Yeah.
I couldn't tell you guys that 10 minutes ago. That looked like you had planned it all the way.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Oh, thank you.
Good affect too, with like kids,
Yeah.
You look
Very
nice.
interactive.
Yeah, your nonverbal language is like perfect. Like, you have the guitar in your hands, you're doing it, but you're still like cueing it with your eyes and your like face, and getting close to him. When you guys to go. It was really, really good.
Thank you.
And good for you letting him play the guitar. I mean,
Yeah.
anything that's not talking about needles.
Yeah. It's so funny because I have issues with needles myself, so I was like, oh, I need that.
You need music therapy.
Yeah.
Procedural.
Or I would just have to keep going to distract myself from seeing him get a shot. So.
Yeah.
Could I talk to this guitar? Could I talk to the
Yeah, you could have talked
the
to.
swallow cue? Because and I could have probably focused more on occasion slowing down to give him a chance to
Right.
swallow. Because I know I say swallow a lot in that song, so it's like excessive.
But you did tell him that you don't have to breathe every time, and that I'll cue you when I want you to take a deep breath. So that was really good. I mean, because he. First of all, he was breathing incorrectly, so, I mean, which most kids will, so he would have probably hyperventilated. I mean, he would have probably fainted. He probably got less air when he took the deep breath.
Please, it's real life. It's real life.
But yeah, I mean, that's a lot, you would have talked to the nurse beforehand, and you said, when I give him this swallow cue, just go for the shot. And, stuff like that. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else? Clap. All right. So, spring. What's it? Next week, spring break. And then we don't have lab the next week.
No.
Right.
That is so sad.
Sarah
You
ATA.
can do it over Skype.
Sorry, at the end.
Computer up there.
You'll be the only one here.
All right. 3 weeks, and I forgot who's going, but you probably know. Yeah.
I'm dead last, man.
Sucks.
Y'all responded well to these spontaneous
Yeah.